I really like the idea of using an ash catcher for your bong. It's a great way to help maintain the cleanliness. It's literally designed to catch the ash so that when you accidentally or intentionally snap the ash through your bowl, it doesn't go straight into your piece. So when you want to go to clean your piece, it's a little bit easier to do. I have a lot of ash catchers. I've been buying them for years. I've tried out several different kinds. I've done smoke sessions where I stacked as many together to see how many different chambers I could add to a piece. But something I've learned after using a lot of them, seeing a lot of them being used by other people, is that most ash catchers are trash. They don't work as intended. While the name explains what they do, ash catcher, they do that. A lot of them are designed with additional percolators. This one's got a little 8-arm tree perk and a disc on it. This one's got 2 honeycomb discs on it. You've probably seen a lot of ash catchers like these. Most of them don't work as intended. Most of them don't work like they look like they should work. You put water in here and you pull it, the water is going to go into your piece. After one hit, it's not going to percolate right, or you're not going to use both of these discs. This one right here, like literally never perks. If there's enough water in it for you to create bubbles, the water just pulls through. So I have a lot of these ash catchers with percolators that are just shit. I did have a really good one. I broke it not too long ago and I need to get a replacement. But the really good kind, the glass joint actually arches up and then down for the piece, giving the water more distance it would have to travel to get sucked into the piece. But even on some of those, even with that additional travel distance for your water, sometimes it still just gets sucked through. So I do have a lot of ash catchers. I've used plenty. But this kind of ash catcher right here, the little 45-degree ones, these for the most part are kind of stupid. You put them on a beaker that has a 45-degree angled downstem, and then all it does is make you not want to tilt it because you're going to tilt it and then dump your fucking water. If I'm using something on a beaker, I'd use like a straight up and down one. That way when you tilt it, the downstem didn't fit, but when you tilt it, the ash catcher goes with it. When you use something like this, it implies that you shouldn't tilt it to get the better percolation. If you do, you get the water in there. Well, my issue with most of these ash catchers is while they do catch ash, they basically just have an almost useless percolator. I will say some of these percolators can help you catch solids if you like doing a lot of snaps. I try not to just pull all my ash through. You end up pulling unburned flour if you get a little too ambitious with it. This ash catcher right here has a crushed disc percolator. It's a disc made out of crushed glass, so it's like really hard for solids to come through. This one actually gets clogged. Any amount of ash over time, any amount of resin buildup even will clog this one. Now there's another kind of ash catcher. We were talking about this the other day on my Twitch stream, so I decided to make this video. If you don't follow me on Twitch, I do smoke sessions after 9 p.m. Eastern. And if you have Amazon Prime, you can literally give me money for free. Go follow my Twitch, go subscribe if you have Amazon Prime. We started talking about dry ash catchers. And what this is an ash catcher without a percolator. And while it's called a dry ash catcher, a lot of people do end up putting a little bit of water in the bottom. Because if you just have loose ash in there and you pull on it, it's pretty likely that you could pull some through. But if it hits the water, it's just going to chill there and you're just going to get dirty water that you want to replace later. Well, something like this is actually really nice because most of these other types of ash catchers, the percolators just don't work. So when you have these perks in there, what you do is you limit the airflow. These double perk ash catchers, they don't have as good of an airflow as something like this. So this is going to do the same job of catching the ash, but you're going to get a better airflow. Most of these, you put water in it, you're going to get some percolation, some bubbling in the beginning of the hit. But if you pull too hard, or typically if you pull as hard as you need to really fill up the chamber and get the smoke, you're going to just start sucking the water into the piece. So that limits your airflow. That makes the hit a little bit weird. And then ultimately, you're not getting the percolation that you want. So I do like this style of ash catcher. They're easier to maintain, easier to clean. All the extra glass in there just makes it a little bit harder to clean overall. But I am going to say, when you use something like this, especially the disc percolators, they do a really, really good job of catching the solids, really good job of catching the ash. But they are harder to clean. And oftentimes, I think this is one of my only ones that works out pretty well. And I think it's due to the crushed disc. It creates a lot of bubbles with a low amount of water. Almost all of my other ones, a lot of ones I've used, a lot of ash catchers I've seen people use, the 90-degree ones, the percolator doesn't work and it pisses me off. Unless you have like a nice high arch with the glass, you're most likely going to suck the water through. Don't forget to check out my Twitch like we mentioned earlier. And if you want to see a tier list on the best glass pipes for smoking, check out this list. I talk about all my favorite types of glass pieces and least favorites.